As the delegates to the First General Assembly in 1906 concluded their meeting, they called for an annual assembly and reported that, after much prayer, discussion, searching the Scriptures, and counsel, to recommend these necessary things. They recognized that a meeting of representatives from all of the churches provided a powerful opportunity to interpret the Scriptures and to seek God's will for the church. They possessed a deep conviction that the models and truths of the Bible were for our day as well as for the first century. By bringing people throughout the movement together for counsel and advice, the General Assembly gave direction and structure to the growing Church of God. General Overseer A.J. Tomlinson wrote, "So when the church gets in perfect order, as it was in apostolic days, the gospel will go forth, and souls by the multitudes will be gathered in." Each successive assembly set about to discover and refine the perfect biblical order by answering questions of all types. What should be the name of the church? The Second Assembly chose the name Church of God. They saw in the Scriptures that Paul wrote to the Church of God at Corinth. How should we designate the orders of ministry? The Second Assembly added the title Evangelist to the already existing bishop, deacon, and licensed minister. What should be the officers of the General Church? The Fourth Assembly created the office of General Moderator in 1909. And the following assembly changed the title to General Overseer, which we continue to use today. The Elders' Council, now known as Council of 18, was adopted in 1916 in order to conduct business between the assemblies. Because of the heavy workload of the General Overseer, the 1922 Assembly selected a three-person committee comprised of the General Overseer, a Superintendent of Education, and an editor and publisher. Now known as the International Executive Committee, this body oversees the ongoing ministry of the International Church and eventually expanded to include the General Overseer, 3 Assistant General Overseers, and the Secretary General. How can there be effective communication among the churches? The Fifth Assembly in 1910 approved the appointment of a publishing committee that led to the first publication of the Church of God Evangel the following March. How can the church prepare workers for the last day's harvest? The 1917 Assembly established the Church of God Bible Training School, now known as Lee University. How can we more effectively promote missions and support missionaries? The 1926 Assembly created a standing missions board. How can the church best involve youth? The 1929 General Assembly established the Young People's Endeavor. How can the local church organize and utilize women for ministry? The 1936 General Assembly approved the organization of the local Ladies Willing Workers bands. Many initiatives came to the Assembly through the leadership of the General Overseer or the Elders' Council as they discern the needs of the local churches and the movement on the field. Other times, ministers and laity provided leaders to introduce programs such as the Young People's Endeavor and the Ladies Willing Workers Band. However ideas originated, they did not become doctrine or practice until they were approved by the local churches meeting together as the General Assembly. The pattern set forth by the First General Assembly to search the Scriptures in order to find God's will for the Church of God continued.